It's good to see everybody. It's been a while since we've met, it seems, even though we met last month, but really, really happy to see all of you. And thank God for the spring, right? It's getting warm out. So that always makes me think of sustainable things too. So I put up our agenda. We're going to have some reports from our usual pillars first, and then what we're going to do is we have some guest speakers, but not really guest speakers. But we have a guest speaker, but not really a guest speaker. We're going to talk a little bit about her great thing she did this week. So I'm going to introduce Trevor. Trevor has been really helpful working with us on air monitoring and sensing. And I call it sensing. I don't know why I switched from monitoring to sensing. See, Trevor knows the journey we've been on. It makes a little more sense. But so Trevor's going to talk a little bit about and just kind of report on some of the progress we made on air sensing and what we're thinking for Camden County, for Tri-County. So Trevor, I'm going to hand it over to you.
All right, everybody, how you doing? Okay, I can't share my screen. It's disabled still. If you want to if you just share the
hold on,
our Google Drive folder.
Do you think
Trevor, give it a shot now, Trevor. Sorry.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, I got it here now. Okay, cool. All right, so hopefully you can all see this. Basically, I have been conducting research on air quality sensing. I've been talking with different academics and going through their processes and what they use as far as technology. And I pretty much come up with this costing sheet that will help us scale a project based on a pilot time and a total project time. And this can help us figure out, as we figure out where we want to place a monitor, so that we can, understand what's in the atmosphere there. Because right now I want to make it very clear, like we have no information. We have no high resolution information at all for Camden County at all. It's everything I'm finding isn't really panning out to being able to tell a story. So I came up with all of this, and really the one that is really sticking out to me right now, and Bill, is the QuantAQ modulaire. QuantAQ is a company out of Pennsylvania, and we can see a pricing sheet here. So let me just move this out of the way, that way in case anyone wants to take this down and take a look at this URL. It's published. You can go ahead and Command Shift for that and go ahead and check that out. But all that information is pretty much right here as well. And yeah, basically the QuantAQ modulaire, it measures PM 2.5, PM10, PM1. So that's particulate matter in the atmosphere. And then carbon monoxide, NOx, which is both nitrous oxide and nitrous dioxide, ozone, and wind speed and wind direction. Those are all the criteria pollutants that are legislated under the EPA or governed under the EPA. And yeah, this is kind of where I've been brought to with everything. I don't know, Bill, am I missing anything, do you think? Bill, anybody? Am I doing?
What time
I was talking, sorry, I was talking on mute. You did it.
Oh, okay.
But Trevor, thanks for that. I think that the issue, one thing that we were finding out is that, and where we've landed and, want to get a grant for is that we found air monitors, but the one that Trevor has found is the one with the most versatility, does most of the sensing that we want. So that's really the strength of that air monitor. So, and it does it's cool things like wind direction too, stuff like that. So it's like so you can tell like where the gas is coming from. So that's where we've landed. It's been some great legwork by Trevor with me advising him just a little bit. So we're really excited about trying to get some air sensors in Tri-County strategically placed, mainly in what we hope to be overburdened communities. So
all right, Bill, I'm going to start answering questions.
Okay, yeah, you can answer questions.
Dorothy, I saw you in the chat first. What is high resolution monitoring? So when you think about high resolution or low resolution, we're just looking at essentially the area that's covered by a network. Right now, based on where the EPA sensors are in New Jersey, as far as southern New Jersey, what is considered the land use sector, there are no monitors. So it's extremely low resolution coverage, which means we don't really know what is in the atmosphere over Camden County and really South Jersey. What are the monitors currently in Camden County doing? I believe there's one in Clarksboro that is a filter pool only station. I don't know when they pull the filter. It's not like live stream data. It's not up to the minute data. Essentially, they can pull it once a year and then show us what the contents of the atmosphere are over a year, and they report that in the New Jersey Air Quality Report. So what are the monitors in Camden County currently doing? There aren't any. They're all in Delaware and Pennsylvania over the river. There's none in New Jersey in our area. I'm going to move into who is first, Marty or David?
Marty.
Marty, what's up?
Yeah, hi. A couple of questions. I'm curious if you've been in touch with the folks from EPA District 2, I believe, which covers New Jersey. I understand they do have funding available for this, and I'm curious about any experience they've had in doing monitoring in other areas of District 2. And I have some other questions, but let's start there.
Bill, do you have anything for that one?
So, I mean, I did contact them and I never received a reply. My question to them was a question of why we don't have more air monitors. That was my question.
Okay.
And they never got back to me. So I'm going to follow up with them. Yeah, because for this effort, I didn't want to, number one, put, any type of air sensing where they were going to put stuff. Or, more importantly, maybe, just again, thinking about their strategy, but I haven't been able to get any feedback from them. So I will follow up with them again.
Yeah, because I think from my perspective, the main issue, the main opportunity is the funding that they could provide to support our initiative. And I guess my other question is this something that's connected to the internet and provides real-time data, or how is the data collected and shared?
Yeah, so the data is online. It goes through 5G internet. There's no additional cost for that. And it's our data. I believe it's $500. It's on my sheet. Let me go ahead and check. It's $500 a year to have access to the data, and it's ours. It goes to a server with our name on it. And if we ever were to stop using them, we still have all the data. It's not theirs, it's ours. So yeah, it goes directly to the internet and gets stored on a server. So
like, for example, for Purple Air, which is another product that does some of the same kinds of things, but maybe not as high a level of quality, they make it available to anyone who wants to look at it, and they have a pretty easily accessible website, and you can check and see. And there's actually somebody who's part of TCS who has one in his backyard. So, we have some real-time experience with installing that unit. And I guess one of the things Bill had talked about earlier was, finding the right locations to put these, and maybe like partnering with a school or something like that, where they would host it and manage the site. And of course, if it's a school, then they probably already have high-speed internet access. So maybe that could reduce the amount of extra overhead that we would have to deal with as far as the funding is concerned. So those are a couple of thoughts that I wanted to share.
Who else put a Purple Air in their backyard? It's not just me, it's somebody else too.
Yes. Mike Jacob. Do you know Mike?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is my second meeting, so I'm still meeting everybody.
Okay. So where
I did the same
Trevor?
thing.
Mine's
in Mickleton.
In
Mickleton.
Okay.
Yeah, East Greenwich.
Okay.
And then I utilize a computer program called HiSplit, HySplit.
Yeah, that was one of his first, Trevor's first presentations, and it's probably in our archives. And I mean, for me, my dream is to have, it's not going to be like it, but like have a weather map, right? You see weather maps with air temperatures, but instead of that, having it for air monitors and gases. So, and that's what he's talking about, high resolution. Like we need more sensors.
Right.
Yeah, with a sensor combined with the computer program that I've learned how to use, I can show the avenue of most likely approach for particulate matter 2.5 and below. So I can see that back trajectory and back concentration plot of where that particle came from. So a high resolution case, it's simply just zooming in on a map and running that higher than Lagrangian math across that map there. And low resolution, I'm zooming out. So a low resolution case would be if you look at any air quality reports from June 6th to June 8th of last year, there was a wildfire particulate matter that came from Camden. Well, when I run my high split, I can show that. And then when I compare my high split to the high split that was given to me by the New Jersey Environmental Protection Department, they match up. So my science is pretty good. David, question?
David, question?
Yes, Trevor, I have something for you, and Bill, I have something for you. First, Trevor, what towns are you talking about putting these in? Dorothy and I are part of Clean Air for Camden, and we were talking about putting them in the vicinity of EMR, and they're near the waterfront, and maybe some other places as well. I think
Yeah, we're gonna
definitely
strategic,
what we needed.
right. So David, we're gonna try and get at least 10 air sensors. And, one of them will be in Camden, but there's a couple little issues that we have. One of the issues is that we need somebody who kind of owns the land that we put it on, because you can get kicked off.
Well, what about the utility poles? Can we contact the utility, get permission?
Yeah, I mean, I want to see what funding we get first, but yeah, we're definitely looking to get somewhere in Camden City for sure. That's one of the overburdened communities we're targeting.
Okay. Now, Bill, I have something for you. Do you know Olivia Glenn?
No.
Olivia Glenn is from our area. She used to be on a couple of groups in our Tri-County area. She is now the Chief of Staff, Region 2, EPA. If you want, I can give you her contact information.
That'd be great.
I was in a meeting about a week or two ago with Sean Lautourette. It had to do with environmental justice. Meeting was down in Paulsboro. Renee was there. I remember that she was sitting behind me. I didn't get much of a chance to talk to her, but nevertheless, we were both there. So I can provide that to you, and she should know who would be able to answer that.
That'd be great, David. Thank you.
And Olivia is a really easy person to talk to. I can't say enough nice things about her.
Okay, thanks.
So can you do me a favor?
That's a ringing endorsement.
Okay, can you do me a favor and put your email?
Yeah, I'll contact you directly. I'm going to send an email to you directly.
Perfect.
David, would you send that to me as well? There's another project that might be
Sure.
worth exploring with you.
Absolutely. Anybody else?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm really kind of cognizant of time here, so I do want to, Trevor, thank you. That was great. Big applause to Trevor. He's done a lot of work. And
Thank you.
I really think we're going in the right direction. I'm real happy that Trevor has joined our team. So real happy about that. The next thing, let's get a report from Camden County Air Quality Committee. Renee and Sean, I don't know which one of these stellar people want to go first, but
Sean, did you want to give them an update on the air quality? Because I just was going to touch a little bit on an update for the Mold Safe Housing Act.
Sure. Thanks, Renee. Hey, Bill. Hey, everybody. I know this group, we've already walked through the brand new Camden County Air Quality Committee. I'll just give you a little bit of a status update on where we are. So one sec. So so why are we doing this air quality committee? So Camden County, like other parts of South Jersey, consistently gets poor to failing grades for our air quality, especially ground level ozone, which is burning stuff. So that's all of the cars on the road and all of the factories in Philly and in Covanta and EMR every time there's a tire fire, etc. So we put together this air quality committee, and finally, you guys would be surprised. You all, I know, have some interactions with your local governments. They turn like battleships, and they don't pivot so quickly. It took forever to get the resolution passed for this new Camden County Air Quality Committee, but it passed unanimously finally. And I think everybody on this line has already seen this before, but we have subject experts from state agencies, DEP, BPU, and NJIT, the Brownfields Assistance Center, and We've just kicked off our individual pillar meetings, and you can see at the bottom of this slides, there are 6 pillars: fleet electrification and charging infrastructure. So that's getting all those school buses and police cars and the DPW trucks, etc., getting all of those electric. Solid waste. So basically, starving the beast. Addressing the food waste problem. So the goal is 5 years out. We don't want to be burning anything when it comes to municipal waste. And there's going to be some tough love for us as residents, like Sean, me. Like, I'm not always great in terms of what goes out in the garbage can. Maybe I should start getting fined. Like, that should be part of it, but also a larger scale municipal and county organic diversion strategy. And that's a big part of it. So we've got not only a number of our local for the towns in Camden County DPW superintendents as part of that committee, but also we've got folks in the community. So Ben Sirocco, who you all know, he's a part of that committee as well, and they have their first meeting this week. The regional engagements, the one where we're working with Philly. A lot of our emissions are coming from that side of the river. They know ambient air knows no boundary. So that's the diplomacy. That first box under regional engagement should say now Mayor Parker. Congratulations to her. So working with the administration over there, with regional partners like the Delaware Valley Regional Planning Commission, and also the big businesses. So in our area, it's actually the hospitals that are the biggest employers, but also your Amazons, the military base, even they are responsible for a surprising number of emissions, and the building trades, obviously in South Jersey, but especially Camden County. Your Boilermakers, your pipe fitters, your electricians, your plumbers, they are very important, and we appreciate them, and they have a lot of say in how policy gets made. And so getting ahead of the messaging and bringing them on as partners, because green jobs is a big part of this. All of this electrification, indoor air quality. So like swapping out some of these old boilers and furnaces and all the county and municipal buildings, and for like things like geothermal and heat pumps. We need pipe fitters for that. We need Boilermakers for that. We need electricians for that. So it's just getting ahead of the messaging there. And also on indoor air quality, we're actually probably going to carve out a separate new pillar that is just on air monitoring, and dovetails nicely with what Trevor and Bill were just talking about. And potentially, we will have some funding opportunities to pay for the project you guys were talking about, but larger scale monitoring as well. And so speaking of funding, that last pillar to the right is finance and funding. And so the finance committee had its first meeting, and the majority of the work over here is making sure that South Jersey gets our fair share of the over $1 trillion in IIJA and IRA money. Plus, there are other mechanisms, and exploring things like vehicle to grid, as a profit center, not a cost center. So, we've got, let's say we get 35 towns in Camden County. All those school buses become electric. They're just sitting there overnight, and they're just sitting there on weekends, and they're just going to be sitting there in the summer. That's a lot of battery power that could be sold back to, for instance, PSE&G. And so, working on that, and also policy. There's a big policy component to a lot of this stuff. And so that's just a quick update for now. Things always move slow. Renee and I, are texting each other like, did they do it yet? Did they do it yet? But at least now that these committees are started, we're not dependent on the top of the house, like the individual committees, and as these work groups are starting up, can run on their own and make some progress. And so that's basically the news for now.
Yep, they can start doing the work, as I like to say.
Yeah.
So I just want to give a quick update on the Mold Safe Housing Act. It was reintroduced into the regular sessions, of course, new bill number S649. We have another sponsor, Senator John McCain signed on to it. So we have Singer, Greenstein, and McCain, who are the sponsors. It was introduced on January 9th, and then it was referred to the Senate and the Community Urban Affairs Committee. There is also a similar bill in the Assembly, A672, and that was referred to the Assembly Housing Committee. So I just wanted to provide a little update about that. That's it.
David, do you have a question?
Yes, I do have a question. Have you contacted the Clean Air Council in Philadelphia? They were extremely active. I've had dealings with them for several years concerning the old refinery that was there, and every so often they come up with something. I respond and have an interaction with one of their executives. But the Clean Air Council is right up your alley as far as that's concerned. They have offices in Philadelphia. They have offices in Pittsburgh. I think they may even have an office in Delaware. And I've asked them if they would consider having an office here. They said, well, South Jersey is part of Philadelphia. So no, we're not planning to open up there. But I think they would be an excellent resource. The person I'm dealing with most, his name is Russell Zerbo. That's Zerbo. We put it in, I can put it in the chat, but I don't have his address off the top of my head.
That's right, David. Thank you. That's the Clean Air Council is an important partner. Yeah, we actually they're already part of our strategic regional planning part. But no, good call. Also, just because you mentioned Olivia early, she's a strategic advisor to us.
Okay, there's no more questions. So we're going to move on to our third reporting. So Marty, can you talk a little bit if you're still there? Can you talk to the
I am here, but I've got an alarm going off in my kitchen. So if you just give me 1 second, I'll turn it off and come right back. Okay, thanks.
So why don't we just go to the next topic and come back to Marty?
Yeah, I mean, our next topic is actually Sharonda, and she's going to talk. So Sharonda, you there? She's going to talk about her experience on Wednesday, and some of the great things she did on Wednesday. So.
Thank you. So on Monday at the State House, I actually spoke at the rally, and I found that I had rave reviews. Folks were hitting me up, and I had a meeting today, and because of the passion that he said that I had in my speaking, Green Faith Newark Circle, which I know some of you are doing Green Faith Southern New Jersey and doing a lot of great stuff. We are trying to get things going up north, but things happen sometimes, bureaucracy. So I just wanted to state that as I testified at the State House, I shared the different organizations for climate that I have been very active and involved with, such as my own Operation Grow and the Greater New Jersey Gateway Climate Reality Project, Tri-County Sustainability, EJ co-chair, and working with Green Jobs, and of course NJ Peak. And what I talked about to the Assembly folks and the State Senate, the state legislators, I should say, was the fact that we have an urgent matter here that we must rectify. This is urgent, where we are classifying what clean renewable energy is, how New Jersey has a ripe opportunity with this burgeoning offshore wind industry in order to create jobs, and also to pay attention to the environmental justice issues that we have and closing gaps. And I also mentioned to them, that we need to be careful about the so-called benefits of incineration, and that incineration is not clean energy at all. That's when I had some folks in the audience at the State House to uproariously cheer, which I thought was interesting. I wasn't expecting that. And just talking about the historic policies and practices in some of these sacrifice zones that we need to also still pay attention to, because anyone still talking about incineration is still, not paying attention to these environmental justice communities and still pushing such harm on them. And of course, talking about the importance of laying out a plan for New Jersey for 100% renewable energy. And as many of you know, we have made progress in that legislation. and just talking about the fact that we need a great plan that involves transfer of use of methane, which should be avoided. And just clearing the path for ensuring that these green jobs are going to benefit all of New Jerseyans, but specifically opening the door for the environmental justice community to make sure that all of the air is clean and that we have great environment for all of New Jerseyans. And you also have me here on the agenda for the portfolio standards. I just want to talk about that now while I'm, up at bat. And I'm just making sure I got it from the website, that the renewable portfolio standards in the country, and of course in New Jersey, and we have one of the most ambitious standards, is 35% of our energy sold in the state should come from qualifying energy sources by 2025 and 50% by 2030. And that New Jersey has enacted aggressive offshore wind targets, calling for 11,000 megawatts by 2024 and new solar targets. And hopefully, and they're talking about coupling this green portfolio and green energy with transportation and building electrification to lessen the dependence on fossil fuels. And of course, to help grow our economy, as I stated in my speech, in my testimony. So does anyone have any questions about what occurred in Trenton on Monday, or anything that I just stated? Or comments, not just questions, comments as well.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
When you said you mentioned methane, where's the source of the methane coming from?
So I believe that I received that from the League of Conservation Voters. I believe I got that information from them because I had a document that, let me go back to this. Wait, are you talking about from my speech or from the website?
You just mentioned, I heard methane and it was kind of quick, and I just wanted to see if you had a source for the methane comment, whether it be what kind of industry releases the methane, or if you have any sort of literature, because methane in the atmosphere is very, very interesting. And I don't know how many people here are chemists, but based on the light, moisture, and temperature of the atmosphere, nitrogen can go in multiple different paths. And that's something that my lab works on logistically, like figure out which path that goes to. So I'd like to see, just where that methane.
Well, I'm glad that you said I'm glad you said you're a chemist, and I believe that I had that in my document that I talked about from the League of Conservation Voters, but also from my research that when we deal with fracking, of course, it's not just natural gas, it's methane. So with fracking, which of course, you can light a flame to people's faucet water, that would be the form of methane that I could say is dangerous. And of course, the methane with the bomb trucks and bomb trains, of course, those are very dangerous forms of energy. So I believe that would be more of an explanation for it. Because of course I did it in the speech, and, not being able to go deep into like, hey, liquid gas or, natural gas, of course, is methane. Of course, cow farts are methane. Human farts are methane. Dog farts are methane, but from that angle, just not relying on those dangerous types of methane that could be extremely flammable and dangerous, especially in transporting to facilities that may use it more cautiously, but just in transit is extremely dangerous. Does that answer your question?
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Great, you're welcome.
Can I just add, and I'm recognizing I'm very background, but any combustion of any hydrogen and or methane, however hydrogen or methane is produced, is bad. Even you forget climate, you're going to get co-pollutants. And the co-pollutant bill that passed yesterday is progress, but is still problematic. So I think we really need to get away from, there's good or bad ways to burn methane. There's no good way to burn methane.
Right.
Sean has his hand up. Sean, do you want to go next?
Yeah, first thought is, Sharonda, we're going to all of these hearings. I mean, who do you think you are, David Pringle?
Well, I've been down with David Pringle as we stood in the hallway, and I would sarcastically say accosted the legislators. Was that a few months back last year, David?
Respectfully accosted.
We respectfully accosted them, and it was a lot of fun because I cornered Singleton, and he almost tried to act like he had an attitude with me, like, "Oh my gosh, Sharonda," but I said, "Come on, man, you know what we're doing here," and he kind of smiled at me, but he was, he kind of felt like I was probably being like the other folks that were there. I didn't know it was so ferocious. That's why I said accosted, because it's quite an experience. So
Yeah.
Yes, and
that's David
yeah,
Pringle.
it can be intense, Sharonda. It can be
Yeah, it
intense.
is. Yes, Renee.
Yeah, I've been there a few times. I was supposed to be there Monday myself, but I'm going to do representing, so that's good.
Thank you. Yes, thank you, Cindy.
I think, is that it, Sharonda?
Yes, unless anybody else had any other comments or
Yeah.
questions.
Thank
Please,
you very
One
much.
quickie, I'm sorry, just before Sharonda, and I'm not going to put you on the spot with this one, but listen, a lot of times, and I use these words tongue in cheek, but like the devil mixes some truth in what he says, and so like when the industry was testifying, was there any? I'm sure Ray was out there, Ray Cantor was out there saying, why we can't have to slow the roll on the clean energy transition, or pushing solutions that may not be as climate friendly, like what David was implying. And so, like, did they make any good points, that we should take away, like that we should have like good responses to, or?
Okay, so thank you for asking that question, because I wanted to be like, gosh, you're stupid. I wanted to say that, but I know I couldn't.
We're
But
respectful.
What do you say?
We're always respectful.
We are. That's why you didn't hear me say it. But it was like how Boehner said to Barack, "You lie." I wanted to say something like that, but I was like, I can't. I got to grow up. But one thing that I could say was that it did sound pretty ridiculous. And it sounded very like, oh, I'm trying to preserve our industry and not really care about others. And it was just ridiculous. So yeah, I didn't find any value in anything that they said. So glad you asked that question, because I thought it was pretty like goofy. Sorry.
Okay, so I think we'll move on to the next topic. Thanks again, Sharonda. Really great work by you. Appreciate that.
Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you.
We also, the next item is, maybe Sean wants to lead us, the controversial OPRA redux bill that would limit transparency in government pulled by New Jersey Assembly.
Sure. Actually, there might be some other folks on that even testified on it. I think everybody knowing your backgrounds is familiar with this, but basically they were trying to severely water down OPRA, the Open Records, the Open Public Records Act, which is New Jersey's version of the Freedom of Information Act. And it was, listen, we all know politics is really like an interesting game, and sometimes you kind of have to play the game. It was really dirty the way they were trying to just sweep through this gutting of OPRA, including like standing committee members getting fired from the committee like 10 minutes before hearing because they weren't going to vote to support it. And so good news. You guys must have all seen the news yesterday. They agreed not to vote on it yesterday, but that doesn't mean they're done with it. So that's something we have to stay. I hope everybody likes Trenton, because we may have to be heading that way a lot, because open public records is so vitally important for environmentalism. By the way, there's a good point. Like, municipal clerks have been getting bombarded with requests by like real estate agents, and that's a legitimate concern. I'm sure there's something we can do to filter out, like any of us who've ever posted anything on social media, like. We know, like, there's the commercial use thing. Like, if you put a copyrighted song on YouTube, like, you're going to get a notice, like, is this for commercial use? I'm sure they could do that with OPRA. Like, is this request for commercial use? Then that's a separate bucket. Then you're, a local green team member trying to find out if the mayor's brother is on that $50 million contract,
Does anybody else have anything to add? Renee, you have your hand up.
Yeah, let me just say, The OPRA is very, very important. I was on the school board, and believe me, every little thing that they wanted to know, there was somebody always trying to get an OPRA. So it's valid, it's important, we need it. But Sean, I wanted to ask you or anybody else, what do you really think is behind this? I mean, we've had OPRA like forever, almost. So what do you think is fueling?
I punt to David. David, how do you think it?
Me, David?
Yeah, you, David.
Oh, it's a nasty thing. The municipalities hate OPRA.
I know.
And they hate the reform to affordable housing. So there was a deal cut. Munis would accept COA if they got what they wanted on OPRA. And then when there was a massive pushback on OPRA, if you notice, COA was on the agenda for Monday, and now neither of them are. So it's more complicated than that, but that's lots of politics are going on.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome to Trenton. That's why if you saw my chat, it sucks, but
All right, thanks, guys.
it's where the action is, where and there's action plenty of other places too.
All right, thanks, David, for giving us the background there.
But I agree, we can't put it over.
Okay, hey, Dorothy, we have you. Do you want to give us a little short update on Camden for clean air? Is that possible? Is there anything going on there?
I'll ask David to speak too. Not much right now. We've gotten some press inquiries, so we're arranging some interviews. Kevin had issued an op-ed that generated interest regarding the incinerator subsidies. And David, I'll just throw it over to you if there's anything else. I know that you have been really involved with the reporting from the fire station.
Yeah, I just want to explain what Dorothy's talking about when she talked about the reporting for the fire stations. About a year ago, Kevin Barfield and myself paid a visit to the fire chief of the city of Camden. At that time, we were trying to get a resolution through concerning liquefied natural gas. We've got resolutions from 19 municipalities. We were hoping that they'd be the 20th. We knew it'd be an uphill battle, and sure enough, it was. But when we met with the fire chief, he gave us a list. I believe there are 32 or 33 incidents since 2006. Most of them were kind of routine things. There were a couple of fires there, but a couple of things that really concerned us, and that is they had biohazard, radioactive, and several other things that really caught our attention. Now, this is only a line list. We try to get the other things. I believe that we do have it now. I was talking with Ben Sirocco the other day. I saw him at a conference at Rutgers. I'm surprised that you folks weren't there because that had to do with the with environmental justice. But be that as it may, he said he has them. He needs to organize them a little bit. But I wanted to find out much more information as to what is really going on there. And I was also in touch with Mom's Air Force, and I suggested that because they're also fighting. They're fighting incinerators all around the country. And I suggested that they get some of these fire reports from the towns that they want to try to deal with in order to be able to find out what really is happening. Not what the greenwashing that they put out, but what is really going on with these incidents. Because obviously they're not going to mention, it's kind of like a fishmonger saying, hey, I've got rotten fish. You're just not going to hear that. So this is one way we have for possibly finding out all the things that are going on. I hope to have them in my hand very soon. Well, that depends on Ben because he said he's got a bit of work to do on them and he's tied up with some other things as well. See, something else I want to do. Oh yeah. Are you all familiar with the new state law in Oregon that required the strictest pollution controls in any incinerator in the country? And the way they worded it is for all incinerators, but there's only one, and you can take a guess which one it is. I will pay a nickel to the person that gets it right, but it's the same as the one in Camden. But I'm not going to give anyone names. I'm not going to give any more hints. But you all know what it is. So so that is something that I mentioned at a seminar that I attended in Paulsboro for Gloucester County. The Department of Environmental Protection was there. Sean LaTourette, Livy Glenn was there, and another young lady, I don't recall her name, but she was in charge of something having to do with environmental justice. But I can't
Candace
recall-
Perry. Candace Perry.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Renee.
Mhm.
It's a good thing you were there because I would have not gotten that, but I appreciate that. So at that point, there are lots of people talking about different aspects of what's going on in the county. And Sean seemed to be very open to comments and questions. However, last year, when he appeared before Tri-County Sustainability, I asked him a question. He said, something to the effect they didn't have time to answer it now. He wants to go more depth. And would I please email him? I'm not going to hold my breath till he gets back to me on that. But, you know, I understand he's busy with other things and, you know, so I'm not going to really fault him for that. But, and I didn't follow up as much as I probably should have at the time as well. So that kind of sums things up because once we get all the information on the actual fire incident reports, then we'll have something to go with. And at that point, we can probably take it to DEP. And I have no doubt that Newark and other Covanta and other incinerators around the state can also have something very similar as well. So it appears to me they are burning medical waste. And at one point, Dorothy, myself, and a couple other people went down to Camden County. They were having an RFP, and somebody from Covanta was there. Remember that, Dorothy? And so just before people arrived, I happened to get there early, and I was talking with the Camden County person. I don't recall his name, and I mentioned about some of these things, like why would there be any stuff that is radioactive? And he gave me some sort of answer that maybe some other people put that in there in the trash without telling anybody. Well, I'm not sure I can buy that because they certainly can use Geiger counters on each truck to determine if there's something there that they need to be concerned about. So I thought that was a rather interesting comment, but until I see them, I'm going to reserve comment. And then once I'm able to get into them there, then maybe we can take them apart a little bit and find out what we need to do as a result of having them.
I'd also want to mention about the Oregon, the new law in Oregon. That data, once it starts coming out, you know, is something that we could use ourselves because they'll be measuring co-pollutants that right now, from my understanding, are only measured once a year, and Covanta knows when that measurement's going to be taking place. So
I'm going to see if I can find it and put it in the chat.
Yeah. David Pringle, do you have something you want to add? And then I really want to go to Marty because I don't want to forget him.
Yeah, very quickly. Sharonda's testimony was awesome at the hearing. After she testified, Covanta testified and basically said, there's nothing to see here. You know, A, we don't violate our permits. B, to the degree we do, we don't violate them any more than anybody else does. And C, please keep giving us renewable energy money. And the bill that was passed yesterday, while is more positive than negative, the garbage incineration penalty language was weakened in part because of Covanta's language.
All right. Thank you very much, David, for your really good information there. Marty, let's get to you real quick. You have some time, so let's get your report. And I'm sorry we pushed you down so far.
No problem. I'm glad Sharonda had a chance to share what she had, and wanted to just give you a quick update on what's happening with the initiative for green jobs, and particularly with connection to the folks in the Camden County prison system. And Bill and I had a chance to meet with Patrick McDevitt and two other people who are partners in this South Jersey Gas initiative to provide training for people to become energy auditors. And I actually signed up to participate in the first phase. There are 4 different programs that they offer, and they're partnering with this company called something like Green Maine, and the folks from Maine who've been doing this for several years, and it's a relatively new program in New Jersey, just started last year. And South Jersey Gas is funding it as part of their relationship with the BPU. And so it's the first program is a virtual program. So I'll be doing it from home. It's a week from Monday. If people are interested, you can find the information on the Discord in the Green Jobs area. That's how I found out about it. And Patrick and his associates were supposed to have a meeting today with Bill Moen, the other Moen, not you, and to see whether or not Camden County College would be willing to host some of the in-person type training that happens in the second, third, and fourth stages of this training. But that meeting got postponed, so I'll have more information for you about that next month. But I think we're moving ahead. It looks like this is a well-organized program, and if it's something that we can offer to people who are getting out of jail as a way to start rebuilding their lives, I think it would be a terrific initiative for us to be able to partner on. So again, I'll fill you in with more information. Anybody else has information about this that they can share, I'm definitely open to it. And David
Yes.
Pringle, I want to congratulate you and the Green Amendment team for getting that bill through the committee yesterday. I know that's just the first step of a long process, but you know, the other Sean was saying that it takes a long time with the government. Well, they've been working on this project for 6 years, so we have to keep the faith. That's an important message. We know that these things do absolutely take time. So, thank you.
And the meeting I attended with Marty was really good. I think it's again, partnering with returning citizens with green jobs. I think it's something that's really going to work well. And so I'm really excited that we found a program and also someplace that's going to be able to take this initiative on. It's really encouraging. Sharonda, did you have something to say? Sharonda?
Yes, sorry, I was trying to unmute. Yes, I wanted to add to that. I did want to put those other parts together with that about the rally with the offshore wind jobs, but also wanted to talk about February 8th when I completed the training for offshore wind ready with Oceanic. And also last week, I spent 3 days with Oceanic doing the foundation to blade training. And I'm always trying to, like multitask and like get on these webinars. But that training, of course, was in person. It was intense. And I was able to get the textbook, and it talked about the entire ecosystem of green jobs as it relates to offshore wind, not just construction, marketing, and things of that nature, but and manufacturing. But it also talks about the other jobs such as the food industry, personal products. It talked about supplies and uniforms and PPE, and talked about for example, I mentioned like housing. If people are not going to be coming directly from home in that area, they'll be spending a certain amount of weeks at a time. And there's a lot of ripe economic opportunities to get involved. And they did ask me to please join that network, which I feel like I joined it before, but I'm just letting everybody know if you have an industry or business that can contribute to that industry, that would be really great. And just talking about the fact that, as preparing the young people, and teaching them about these green renewable jobs, renewable energy jobs. I'm also part of the OWLS program, and that is the Offshore Wind Education Leaders program. And I just had some of my young people that I work with in the evening to work on some projects because I'm teaching them about offshore wind as it pertains to sustainability. And they were fascinated by a lot of things, involved in it that we've been learning. And this is a really great opportunity. They're not teaching them this stuff in school at all. So I'm presenting things to them and they're like, oh, wow, because I'm getting things hot off the press. So there's a lot of education, not just for reentry, but for young people who are in school and making sure that they don't even get in trouble to have to be in a reentry program, but just going straight into these careers. So I just wanted to add that.
Yeah, thanks. And so Sean, you have a question, and then maybe if you want to, you can go right into the New Jersey Fair hike if you want to do that.
Is Sean muted or something?
Yeah, sorry about that. Props Sharonda for repping TCS at that EDA offshore wind event at Rowan a couple of weeks ago. That was awesome.
Oh yeah, forgot about that one too.
She's everywhere. Just because Marty mentioned it, just so folks a refresher, the TCS Discord has a green job section, and like literally everything that's environmental tangential, that's a job that we find is posted in here. So a lot of entry level and intern stuff, but there are some 6-figure jobs for sure. Also, workforce development is another piece of it. So that Marty had mentioned, that's where he found out about the South Jersey gas event. There's everything is posted here. So yeah, it's a good resource. Also, Marty, there was this one gentleman, just because we're talking about the equity jobs thing. He does veterans jobs, and so Veterans Chamber of Commerce. So let's reach out to him because he may be a really good contact for us. And there is a mega job fair coming up in Gloucester County, by the way. And what was the last one, Bill? It was the New Jersey Transit Fair hike. So you guys all know New Jersey Transit has been having meetings at various locations in the state. No virtual option whatsoever. The only one in our area was in Cherry Hill on Monday. And it was at 11 a.m. And funny, like New Jersey Transit meeting, and it was I think the closest New Jersey Transit stop was like 2 miles away. It was really unfortunate that they took that route. But our own Bill Retzler did go, and at least so TCS was there, and he spoke against the fair hikes. So we were there. He got some good shout outs. He actually NJN interviewed him, and also funny, David Cruz, who I think you guys might know from NJN, the New Jersey Public Television. He posted yesterday about how unfair it is that Kevin Corbett, the CEO, hasn't been giving any interviews, and he said, but he acknowledged except Tri-County sustainability. So I thought that was pretty cool. Anyway, sorry, I know it's a Friday at close to 5, so I'll shut up then.
Yeah, and one thing too, I did want to mention that David has the other David. He's got like a little flyer for his environmental series seminar that so you guys want to take a look. I don't know, David, if you want to. Oh, you have your hand raised, so go ahead, David. Maybe you can talk a little bit about your seminar that you're doing. I think you're on mute, David. He's still on mute.
Which David?
You.
Oh.
Your environmental seminar that you posted here. I want to.
Yes. This is something interesting we're trying in this experiment. I wear a lot of hats, and one of the hats that I wear is I'm chair of Tri-County Sustainability's Towns Helping Towns Committee, and I have mentors such as Dorothy, such as such as Marty and a bunch of other people, which for a while we've been dormant, but we're now reactivating. And the green teams of Runnymede, Barrington, and Summerdale, along with the Women's Club of Runnymede, is sponsoring a series of environmental seminars. And we have coming up, our next speaker is this coming Tuesday. You'll see there, Tracy Carluccio from Delaware River Keepers. And our next speaker after that, gosh, I can't think of her name. Renee, would you be able to help me out with that?
You got jokes.
Yeah, well, I
Yes,
figured
I'll be
that I
speaking.
didn't say hello to you, so this is my way of saying hello. But in any case, I've been mentoring both of these towns, and they're going for their bronze. Runnemede is going for its silver. Stay tuned. There's a lot of work to be done, but we're going to do it. Every one of us are going to do it. So I wanted to just mention about that environmental seminar, that series that we're doing. Last time we did it, the first time, we had 66 people, including 28 children. We emphasized the children because we sent out notices to 4 middle schools. They're environmental teachers, and we asked if they would be able to give extra credit for attending, and all four schools said yes. So we're hoping our attendance this Tuesday will go up a little bit as far as the kids are concerned, but great series.
Thanks for that, David. We're at the end of our seminar. We didn't hear anything from Jackie. Jackie, did you want to say anything or say hello? Or okay, she said hello. But yeah, thanks for attending.
Hello,
Jackie.
everyone. I know everyone's tired. I think I said everything in the chat.
Yeah, she does some really great work.
Yeah.
So that's it. That's the end of our meeting. So thanks for everybody for participating. Thanks for a great meeting. Thank you, Trevor, for calling in. And we'll talk. We'll have a meeting next week. Oh, by the way, if I'm missing anything, if there's anything of interest to you that you want to bring up at these meetings, please send me, and you can copy Sean, and my other Sharonda, Renee. If you want to present something, we're always looking for issues, and if we're missing something, especially, we really do want to be notified. So, but thanks everybody for attending.
Bill, before you leave, there was one thing I put in the chat, but I think it really is something several of you would be interested in. That's the Climate Trace project. I don't know how many of you are familiar with that. I did put the information about it a couple of months ago in the Discord. It's an initiative by literally thousands of organizations around the world to track air quality monitoring, and they have identified different locations all around the world where there a variety of different pollution is going on. It was introduced by Al Gore, and he has a team of scientists that are working with him, and they're collecting information from many different sources around the world. So if that's something you're interested in, I highly recommend you take a look at it. I think it's climatetrace.org is the place to get started, and you can zoom in to an individual county. I don't know if you can go to a zip code within a county, but it has a tremendous amount of information and several different types of pollution that they're tracking. So,
all right, thanks everybody for attending. Thanks, Marty, for that. I'll see everybody next month. Appreciate it. Bye-bye.
Great weekend.
bye now.